can say without a shadow of a doubt that I quite enjoy digital distribution, just based purely off the fact that I can go and get a game, lickety split like that, and for a lot of indie developers or just developers out there that don't have a lot of money to go and shell out to get physical copies of the games printed and put on the store shelves by whatever publisher that they have to go to, this is a way for us to go and enjoy those games. Well, what happens when those games are taken down off of the Xbox Live Marketplace, or off of PSN, or off the WiiWare service, or off of Steam, or off of Android, or off of Amazon Marketplace, or off of iTunes? Think about all those different platforms that they offer digital distribution for games, and then eventually some games get yanked or just no longer are made available for an entire fucking plethora of reasons. Think about that. When that was the only option for them, and they're suddenly just gone out of existence, and there is no other means to get a hold of these games, they're gone. They become vaporware and nothing but a memory that you might be able to watch gameplay footage of or read up about. That idea is frightening. As a matter of fact, I remember talking about just a little while ago about the ESA going and trying to say that preserving these kind of classics through means of emulation and other types of ways of preserving these classics is going to be illegal, and they want to go and put a fucking ban hammer and a big old fucking stop to that. And that shit bothers the fuck out of me, because these are part of history. You know, gaming is a part of history. It is part of the entertainment world, from movies to music to books. Gaming is a big part of it, and the idea of somebody going and saying, well, this movie's just gone forever, this album is gone forever, this book, you can no longer read it, we're gonna go and take fucking literature away, it doesn't matter how amazing the writing was, and how fantastic the worlds were, how engrossing and gripping the characters, nope, gone, just gone, poof. With games, that bothers me a lot more. I think about how important emulation has been to me, because between scarcity and rarity of certain games, and just overall some being impossible to find because they didn't make many copies or they're so damn expensive, well, there you go. Emulation was one of those ways that you could do it. But with modern gen consoles, that becomes a little more difficult of a task to undertake. Think about some of the games out there that have been taken off. And one of the main games that made me want to make this video is Afterburner Climax. Afterburner Climax, which apparently is in the arcades, but I sure as shit can't ever get that motherfucker to run on MAME. But Afterburner Climax, which is made by Sega, a long-running series, is my all-time favorite, put it right at the top, favorite entry in the series. I love it. Fast and frantic gameplay, looks beautiful, amazing music, and just, you're shooting down a whole bunch of jets, and you're doing fucking barrel rolls and twists and turns and dodging bullets and missiles. It is great. Multiple paths to go through, and I've played the living hell out of the game shit tons of times. And as a matter of fact, it was probably one of the earliest purchases I ever personally made on PlayStation Network. That game's not on there anymore. At all. Poof, gone! I went on to my downloads on my PlayStation 3, and I looked, not there. I flipped the fuck out. Went on Twitter and was just going off. Typey type. This motherfucker was pretty pissed, because I was losing out on one of my favorite games. It was taken from me. That's how I kept on viewing it. Come to find out that, due to a couple very nice individuals on Twitter, they said if you go onto the PlayStation Network's website, and you log in on the website, you could find it on there, then click download, and it sends it to your PlayStation 3. You log in via the PlayStation 3, and then it begins downloading from there. Really fucking weird loopholes that you have to go through, but there is still an option for it. But for everybody else that might be watching this that expresses some kind of interest in it, there is no option. Just recently, the PT demo was taken offline. Gone. Konami just fucking wiped it from existence and want people to just forget it exists. And you want to know what? We're not forgetting. Not anytime soon. Silent Hills was a big-ass game that everybody wanted to go and get, and that PT demo was a playable trailer to go and give you some kind of semblance and understanding and taste of what you were going to expect. It's gone now. And people are saying, which I haven't gone to confirm it myself, but if you've deleted it off of your consoles, there is no option to re-download it. It's just not there under the downloads. I can't actually confirm that because it is sitting on my PlayStation 4 right now, but the idea that something like that is gone for good, it's fucking maddening. It is absolutely maddening. You know, I remember a while ago, Marvel just in one big swoop took a shit ton of their major releases down. Nobody fucking knew why. They were just taking down tons of titles. I remember Deadpool being one of them, and I think some of the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, and some other shit. But luckily, there's physical equivalents to those games, so they're still readily available for you to go and get and still play. But if they were digital only, then what? Then what? You'd be fucked. Some other games. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Great comic series, great movie, great beat 'em up. Hell, one of the best modern day beat 'em ups I've played in fucking years. I love to shove it. From the music to the graphics, it was just fun. I mean, I played that game through and through so damn many times. I just enjoyed the hell out of it. But just take it right off of there, and it's fucking crazy to think that these digital-only games are going to be taken away so many times. On the Wii, there was a remake of Alien Crush from PC Engine / TurboGrafx 16. One of the best pinball games series, though Devil's Crush is always going to be the best. You can't fucking argue me! Devil's Crush is the shit! But, and some people might be like, no, Jackie Crush, no, it's Devil Crush. All fucking day. Genesis version doesn't fucking hold a candle to the PC Engine version, by the way. Just doesn't. But, point being, they've made a remake of Alien Crush. And it's gone. You know why? Because ever since last generation, think about the Nintendo Wii, think about the PlayStation 3, think about the Xbox 360. Now take those three consoles and think about the digitally distributed games that were only made for those systems. I'm talking exclusive to consoles made nowhere else or exclusive to that individual console. Now this gen, where are they now? Gone. So many of those fucking games. With the Nintendo Wii, it's not nearly as bad because it's easy as fuck for you to go and modify and hack a Nintendo Wii. You know, you can go and get the WAD files and put them on there. You can get an external drive, hook that bad boy up, you're just fine. So with the Nintendo Wii, it's not nearly as bad. But with PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, a little bit trickier. Going and modifying those systems is a little more of a trying task. And the thing is, my point of it is this. You shouldn't have to go and do that. Those things should have been carried over to some capacity, but they're not. They're not around anymore. They're fucking gone. You know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Reshelled, even though it is a fucking clunker of a turd of a game, absolute fucking shit, especially when you consider that the classic that it's based off of, but you know, it's fucking Ubisoft, so who was all that surprised? But that's gone. Poof, gone from existence. I think about this sometimes, you know, how many games out there have specific gameplay modes that you no longer have access to because the servers are no longer made available? So you have chunks of games that aren't playable anymore. You have some games that are online only, that you buy for the consoles, that are exclusive to the consoles. They are online only, and without the systems going online, which they won't down the road, I can guarantee you, your games do nothing. You have a fucking coaster. That's it. And the game isn't released digitally, so again, just nothing. Gone. Poof. Gone. I hate this idea so fucking much sometimes, and then the ESA has the fucking balls and the audacity to say that this shit's illegal. That right there fucking irks me even more. Because it's like, if nobody's making it available, then what the fuck's the point? Nobody's losing money on this. And the minute that it becomes available again, then you can, you know what? If you want to take it off there, fine. By all means. Because you're taking money out of their pocket, okay, fine. But if it is not being made available, if it's not being printed at all, then what the fuck is the problem? I don't get this kind of shit, man. And it does. It freaks me out because I think about, you know, I only have a certain amount of time to be able to play games each day like everybody out there between, you know, work life, social life, love life, and just all sorts of stuff in between. So you don't get to play every single game that you mean to, and then eventually it's like, wait, they stopped selling that game? It was taken offline? How the fuck do I get a hold of it? Oh, I can't? You know, there's some alternatives. Sometimes you might be fortunate enough to find out that there might be the Japanese marketplace that you can go on to and still find the game on there, on the various consoles. Well, there's always that as an alternative, but sometimes it's not the case. Sometimes it is literally just gone. Sometimes it turns out there's a physical copy that was only made in specific regions, so you can go and import that. So there's an option, but it's completely in a different language that you don't fucking understand, so it's not exactly the same game that you were playing before. You know, I think about all this shit, and I'm not bashing digital distribution. Do not get shit confused. I download tons and tons of games. My Steam account has like 100 games on it. On PSN, I can't even tell you the amount of games I've gotten off there. I mean, shit, just recently, I beat Shovel Knight twice. Went through regular game, New Game Plus. Rogue Legacy, I'm not on New Game Plus Plus. Literally, beat that shit 3 times. And I can go beat it a 4th time if I decide to go and face off against the fucking king. So, yeah, there's that. And I think about, you know, all those games that I've gotten. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, that again, another really good digital-only game, enjoyed the fuck out of. Man, it sucks. It does. It sucks because when the options are taken away from you, think about how many games that you might have played that came out like, you know, they're retro games. They came out back in like the 80s or early 90s that you just got to play or just got to hear about for the first time ever. Now apply that to modern day gaming where there's no fucking way that you can get a hold of that. That's the fucking issue that I take with it. Nobody should be left out in the cold with the ability to not play something. You know, it's just, that's fucking terrible to think about. I hope that there's going to be some kind of fix to all this without having to go and modify and alter a pre-existing hardware, which is some of the only ways that I can think about, because I sure as shit can see people emulating a PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 to 100% compatibility, you know, through and through emulation on PC. That shit would be crazy because the architecture for, like, the PS3, for example, is fucking nuts. Maybe with current gen that might be a bit easier since those are made a little more closely to how PCs are set up, but the point being is that when that's your only option is to have to go and jump through hoops to go and just try out a game, that means that gaming is kind of losing focus and losing sight of shit. Just saying. Anyway, just want to go and get my 2 cents out on it. Can you think of any games that are no longer made available digitally at all on any of the platforms that you'd like to share? Do you want to talk about what the future could possibly hold? Maybe you can think of some kind of alternatives and fixes to this kind of shit. Maybe you just don't give a fuck at all because you could really give a damn about playing some old game. So a video like this doesn't mean fucking hell to you because, you know, it doesn't bother you. Either way, this is Alpha Omega Sin. As always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers game the fuck on.